my mentality when it comes to, life, it's like a do or die. If I'm not doing this, then what am I doing? Why am I here? So if I'm not taking advantage of the opportunity I'm given here, whether it's school, athletics, or working with these professionals I got to meet over the summer, if I'm not proving that I can be the best at what I can possibly do, then why am I doing it?
Season 7, episode 3, we're back. Scott Barker, nice to have you on the show.
Nice to meet you, man.
Appreciate you coming on here, it means a lot to me. Before we get started, make sure, if you're new to the show or not, make sure you subscribe, drop a like, comment, share this with anybody you think should see it. If you're tuned in on a streaming service like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, make sure you leave a 5-star rating, leave a review. Scott Barker, we're back at D&E, cross country track, sweet mates last year. I miss being over here, sweet mates with you guys. Talk to me about your summer this year, your off season going to Flagstaff, and how that went this year.
Well, we spent the whole summer at altitude. So first off, I'm a runner. I'm on the cross country and track team here at the same college as DJ, Davis Elkins College. And for the past 2 summers, I have been training at a place in Arizona called Flagstaff, where we train at high altitudes, and then what the science is with that, we gain a lot more benefit and a lot more for our bang for our buck being at altitude training. And this summer specifically, we had almost an entire, maybe half our team all out in Flagstaff. So across the whole country, all committed to the one goal, just working on each other and helping each other out so we can be the best possible team and be the best possible athletes that we can possibly be.
For sure.
Yeah.
I definitely think that was cool. Like I said, me and Scott, we were sweet mates along with some of the other guys that are a part of the cross country and track team here. And I would come home last year and I would just be around and I would hear everybody talking about going to Flagstaff, especially towards the end of the year. Everybody was planning their trip and heading out there. I think that's pretty amazing to have pretty much your whole team out there outside of school, bonding, working out together. And like you said, getting the best bang for your buck, training at altitude. I think that's definitely major. And you guys are a good team, of course, and I'm ready to see you guys compete this year, especially after this summer.
We set the bar really high. We have big goals. We have a strong, good dynamic. The atmosphere is great around this year, especially meeting all the new guys that came onto the team. And just like I just said, the atmosphere is great. And we're all brothers, and we want to go to nationals. And we not only want to go to nationals, but we actually want to do well at nationals. So a little bit more, setting the bar high, and you can never, set your goals up in the clouds. Or how's that goal go?
Reach for the stars.
Reach for the stars. You're landing among. Shoot for the moon. You reach along the stars. Oh, I fucked that one up, but you know what I'm saying when it comes to that. Yeah, we set the bar real high, and I'm pretty excited to see how we do this year. Everybody's fit. This morning we had a nice long run, and it just felt good having everybody together, and really looking forward to it all. First meet in a couple weeks.
Definitely. Last year was eye-opening to me. When we lived together, just being around you guys and seeing how hard you guys work. I remember talking to Nazar and him telling me he runs like 100 to 110 miles a week, and Henry also. Like, I feel like it's just insane to me, but you guys are runners, so that's normal for some of you guys. But talk to me about Parkersburg, Virginia, where you're from, and your upbringing. How was your upbringing in Parkersburg?
So, all right, I'm from Parkersburg, my hometown, Parkersburg, West Virginia. I grew up, born and raised there, went to a high school, PHS, and it's where I learned, that's where I got started my running career. I ran in middle school, and then in high school I was one of the topper guys, one of the better guys on the team, and I tried to encourage more guys, more athletes from the younger age going into high school, going from middle school to high school, almost kind of like recruiting new guys. I try to do what we're doing now at the college level with how we're going about everything now. I wanted to make sure our team in high school was very successful, and I did everything I could from what I could do myself and trying to motivate others so that we could, accomplish our goals and do well in the state of West Virginia. And running in the state of West Virginia isn't as crazy as other places like you would see like in Ohio or out west. You have California schools. California kids are crazy. But for what we had and the environment that we were giving, I was very motivated in trying to take advantage and make sure we're all, cohesive and working together.
Definitely. I think that's major, not just you being focused on yourself or your teammates being focused on their own craft, but you guys working on your craft individually and just team bonding, building like definitely. I keep flashing back to last year in our suite. You guys would have movie nights so much. Like I would always think like this has to be a close knit team, and you guys are definitely elite. So I think that plays a part in it. So I'm happy to see all of you guys' hard work and time pay off, and I'm ready for it this year for sure.
I'd like to credit the coaches I've had along the way, coaches I had in high school and the coaches I have now. They really instilled that motivation and that instilled that what it takes to be great type of mentality, and I really do appreciate them along the way. They really guided me to where I'm at today.
How did you get introduced to distance running and track in the first place? Like, what was your first introduction, first memory as far as running goes?
Middle school, I came into a new area. I transferred to a different middle school going into middle school. And, you know, I did track when I was in, you know, I liked to run a little bit. It was something to get me started. I didn't really care for any other sports. I did soccer a little bit here and there, but running was an easy way for me to try to meet new people. And in middle school, 6th grade me, I joined the cross country team at this middle school that really motivated me. And I had a deep motivation to try to, like, you know, try to be the best, try to beat everybody. And little me wanted to race everybody all the time. I caught up onto that, and actually I guess I showed a little bit of talent in it, and I kept with it. And a couple years later, I ended up doing well. I was like county champ in some of the races back in track. I love track more than cross, so when track came around, that was my go-to. That was my favorite type of year. A little bit shorter distance type of races, and that led me more into why I like to run so much now. And getting into high school, I met some new coaches that really were into the sport and taught me a lot of things I didn't know about. I just middle school me, I just ran. I didn't know anything about running. They give us workouts once in a while, and here, do this loop. And by the time I got to high school, things got a little bit more serious. And then obviously 4 more years later in college, it's taken to us going to Flagstaff training. The sciences behind it, the literally every little thing that goes into the human body and the physical demands it takes to, you know, perform at the best, at the highest level. I'm literally doing workouts and training and seeing these guys that run in the Olympics, you know, run for, you know, for different professional teams, and it's so fun. Looking back on it now and the progress I've made and what I've learned going into the sport, and then we'll get into more of what I've learned in Flagstaff, but yeah.
Definitely. Season 7, the DJ Henderson podcast, man, it's been a blessing. It's been an incredible journey getting to this point. Coming from season 1, making it to season 7, it's been amazing. I appreciate anybody that's been supporting the show, or if this is your first time tuning into the show, I just appreciate you being here, supporting the show, and being able to see this. The best way to support the show is simply subscribing on YouTube, sharing this with your friends and family, leaving a like. And if you're listening to this on a streaming service, make sure you leave a 5-star rating and a review. Again, I want to say thank you. I appreciate all the support. And now we're going to get back to the show. I want to get like kind of some like into your mindset a little, like talk to me about just what do you think about, how do you get through these long runs, and like what is it like being a distance runner actually?
I will say there's more bad days than good days, but it's those good days that really make the sport so much better. I would say first off, you know, if you have a good environment, you have a good atmosphere, good teammates, that really helps a lot. But I think it's just something about, you know, proving that you're at the best level that you can possibly be, and you get that little runner's high. And I'm sure you get those little runner's high. You win a game or a game high, and that's part of it too. If you crush a good workout, if you get, you know, like a long run, for example, you run for today, like we did 15 miles. After the end of that long run, we felt like, damn, that was fun. Now let's go eat and take a good nap. And it feels good, feels accomplishing, fulfillment almost for some of the guys. And I think it goes in line with, there's just some satisfaction to it that not everybody can appreciate, but depending on your sport, you find that satisfaction in different ways. And with running, I think accomplishing goals that you set, like what I mentioned, we want to go to nationals, a goal like that. Once we make it there, and once we accomplish that goal, it is everything you can ever imagine. And I think it goes with any sport.
I think just you haven't just responded to my question. I feel a little bit better about how I thought about running. Like before you even said that, I'm just like, bro, there's no way I could even do this. But like the way that you explain it, I understand, because when I'm working out for basketball, if I have a good workout as far as like, shooting goes or a really good practice or I feel good, like it does feel good and it feels fulfilling when you're finished with some hard work. So I definitely understand that. Like you said, everybody probably can find that same satisfaction within their own sport for sure.
And like any sport, you have your bad days, and I'm telling you, like when it's Elkins, West Virginia, and it's middle of winter and it's snow on the ground, and you're like, man, it's either the treadmill or I have to trudge through 6 to 8 to 10 miles of snow. It sucks, but it's those days that you accomplish those goals. That's what makes it all worth it. And that's what makes it even more sweeter. Because after you get through those tough days, you look back and like, man, if I didn't do that then I wouldn't be here now.
Definitely. Something else I want to talk about is mental health. Talk to me about your mental health journey throughout the season, how things are different for student athletes, and like how you feel throughout your running season when you're working and grinding for those PRs that you're looking for, national recognition, all of that. I know personally, as a student athlete, anytime the season comes around, like I already know the time that I'm gonna have to put in and the work, the energy, but also I know the emotions that you can go through throughout a long season, ups and downs, like you said. Talk to me about your mental health when you're running and things like that.
You have your lows and your highs, just like with anything else. I mean, when you're hurt, you're going through a little injury, a little spell, it definitely gets to you. You know, when you're not. Right now, I'll go back a little bit. Right now, I feel like I'm in a really good spot, in a really good place. Classes are great. That's part of it. You know, if you're in a good place when it comes to your classes, career-wise, you have things going on that isn't putting you down, stressing you out. That's part of the mentality and how things go right now. And I'm healthy as well. So I would say, currently right now, and what it's been for the past couple months, it's been an ongoing build. But right now, the way we are with our entire team from the past week of workouts, and we've been on campus for 2 weeks, mentality is an all-time high. Like, as long as everybody's healthy, everyone's supporting each other, it's the mentality is great. Along with that mental health, the lows, it can be pretty tough, and you go through some injury that goes forever for some reason, or you get COVID, or you're sick for a little bit. It puts you out, and it kind of puts you back in your place where you need to understand, okay, I'm human, and I need to figure out how I can get my body back to its normal health so I can keep going in the sport that I love to do. And last fall, I strained my IT band, and that's a pretty big tendon that runs up and down your leg. And it took me out for 3 months, and that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in this sport, was trying to get back and seeing everybody do well while I'm sitting here a little upset with myself, not being able to accomplish the goals I set for myself, because I've always set the bar really high. And with that, I turned to doing a lot more lifting, a lot more gym activities, and it got me to the fitness that I was able to do at the time, given my certain circumstances. And that's pretty much how it went.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate. I feel like I've been injured damn near every year of my life, it feels like, but I've been more fortunate than that. But recently, like last season, I got injured. I missed a lot of games. I only played about half of the season. A lot of my teammates also went through the same kind of thing, and it can be very tough, especially when you're away from home somewhere and you're just limited to being a student, really, and just being there to support your teammates. You're not able to play and express yourself or take out your emotions in your sport. You just have to sit and watch and just learn and be observant, be patient. You learn a lot of things being injured, and I think health is something that we all take for granted. Like, we all have millions of things that we want, but a sick person or injured person, they only wish for one thing, and that's just their health to be back to the way it is or better. So I definitely think that's something that we all take for granted.
You got to see the positives to it all. Even though it's a negative at the time, looking back on it now, it was a positive for me because I got to learn what it takes to keep myself from being back in that position again. You know, I'm more critical when it comes to the recovery process. I'm more critical when it comes to the little things, a little bit more stretching, you know, strengthening those areas that were weak at the time. And I got to appreciate being healthy a bit more than I did before.
Definitely. Right now we're at D&E. This is your final year, 5th year, senior year at D&E. Talk to me about your overall experience, what you've seen here at D&E, what you remember coming in, what's changed since you've been here, and your overall experience here, how you got here, all that good stuff.
I will say the team dynamic has changed a lot since my first year at D&E, and I'd say I'll give credit to the guys that were here when I first came. They showed me the ways of how a college athlete should train, should go about, studying between school and athletics. They motivated me to, be a better person and try to encourage more of the athletes we have coming in and be what they weren't, be better than what the guys I came in with, what they showed me, which wasn't as the same respect that I give to the new guys now. I would say it changed a lot because the dynamic wasn't quite there like it is now. We have more individuals on our team that are more motivated and determined than before.
Definitely. I think that's major, just adding more motivated people, obviously better talent over time. That's the goal for any program, and once you start doing that, that's when you start to see positive change. You start to see competition rise and people just naturally competing and striving to be the best they can. So I think that's definitely major, and if you've seen that over time, then that explains why you guys have been good and have gotten better, like slowly but surely over your 5 years here. Somewhat recently you started your content creation journey and you developed your own media company, SB Productions. Talk to me about that, what the future holds for that, what the vision is for it, and how you got started with it.
I created my company, which is SB Productions. It's on Instagram, it's on YouTube. It's pretty much the only two so far.
All of that will be down below in the description.
And I started this, I'll go back to when I was injured. I picked up a camera one year and let's go back even further back. High school me, I had a little flip camera, one of those little just snap cameras. And I liked it so much. I didn't like the camera as much, the camera sucked. But when it came to uploading our journey, I went to races and I videoed my friends. It was more just for my friends, just to put all the videos together and share it across. And I made cool little YouTube videos out of it, just little videos. I put some music, like Imagine Dragons or some music behind it. And it was so cool. And people liked it. And I got a little high from it because I was like, oh, I like this. Other people like it. I want to keep doing this. Mm-hmm. Did it for a little while. High school me, I like doing it a lot. And then I set it down, focus on more important things, my career and stuff, once I got to college. And it took me a couple years until I picked up a camera again, and I actually purchased my own camera, what was it, beginning of 2021? So it'll be almost 2 years, a year and a half now. And I purchased my own camera. I wanted to pick this up and see if I could do it again. I also got a new computer, I got a new MacBook, so it motivated me to have good software to try and get back into the game again. I was injured at the time. I actually had a fractured collarbone from snowboarding.
I've actually done that before, but keep going.
And yeah, it's rough.
Very.
So I couldn't do anything, and the only thing I thought I could do to help support my team was pick up a camera and start, filming our guys doing workouts or races again. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of got me into it, just practice, and I enjoyed doing it. I got on Premiere and I started playing with different videos that I've been doing from the guys' workouts. I got a drone too, playing with a drone. I started with a drone actually, then I got a camera. But I didn't stop there. I got a gimbal, I got some cool tripods, I got some lighting. And at this point now, after a couple videos out, people started coming to me from outside the school wanting videos done or wanting some stuff done. They started taking notice of my work that I was just doing for fun, for my team, for my school, and it led to the next year working with a professional team in Arizona, a professional running team that was sponsored by Hoka. I actually reached out to them because I needed an internship for school, and I thought it would be cool to work with a professional team in the sport that I'm already involved and interested in, to learn about the science and the business behind it, because I am an exercise science and business management major. But the only way I could think of that I could convince these guys that I could work for them was to take their photos, just like I was doing for my team. Take their videos, edit their videos, you know, more in the marketing and sales area. I got it worked out with my school, got it worked out with them. I got to learn about the business of how a professional team conducts its operation. I got to learn about the sport a bit better. I got to learn the science about how and why athletes train at altitude, endurance-based athletes, bikers, runners, swimmers. And I also got to enhance my skills in digital media at the same time. This was last summer, so a whole year ago. And it went, you know, I had some rough days, had some good days, but all in all, it was all for the greater good here. I was helping them out and they were helping me. Got back to school, started making more videos, started getting into photography a little bit more. I was still new to it all. Worked for my school, started working with Senator Nation a little bit, started working with different odds and ends with the school. I won't even get into that, there's some good and bad. And then a whole year later, winding back around to this summer, going into my last year of college athletics, I had plans to go back out to Flagstaff again, and this time to work more on myself and my image and my business, and at the same time bring my friends, my teammates along with me so they can experience Flagstaff and the altitude training and how rough it is, but how beneficial it is. And at the same time, I can continue increasing my network with people in the area of Flagstaff and Arizona, and also enhance my skills so that it could be more professional.
Season 7, the DJ Henderson podcast, man, it's been a blessing. It's been an incredible journey getting to this point. Coming from season 1, making it to season 7, it's been amazing. I appreciate anybody that's been supporting the show, or if this is your first time tuning into the show, I just appreciate you being here, supporting the show, and being able to see this. The best way to support the show is simply subscribing on YouTube, sharing this with your friends and family, leaving a like. And if you're listening to this on a streaming service, make sure you leave a 5-star rating and a review. Again, I want to say thank you. I appreciate all the support. And now we're going to get back to the show. We talked about SB Productions. Another venture that you have going on right now is Hermes Athletics. Talk to me about what it took or what went into your mind when you decided to start your athletic brand and what the future plans are for it.
So Hermes Athletics, again, we have our own Instagram business profile. We also have a TikTok, and we're trying to experiment with other things as well with it. But it originally started out as a fun way to kind of show off our gym fitness progress over time. So me and 2 other guys, a part of my team, one that has already graduated and he's overseas, and then another guy that's currently my teammate that's on campus with me now. We were all banged up, kind of injured. You know, I was talking about how I had that IT band issue last fall, so I wasn't running a whole lot. I was in the gym more. My other friend Jackson, he had some ankle issues, he had some calf issues, and all in all, he wasn't able to run a whole lot either. And then we had our third guy, he's from the Netherlands, his name's Tijmen Bao. He was also a part of the having issues pop up here and there. And he was also really into gym fitness much more than he did with running. And because of that, he was also more of a track guy. So he loved the middle distance, the shorter type of races much more. And you can get away with that with the more, you know, stuff you do in a gym. You know, the more muscle you have, the faster you can go, like 400, 800 level. But to go into why we created this, we just wanted to show off our progress and have fun with it and see where it goes. You know, if it, you know, we wanted to have fun with it. That was the main goal. And if it wasn't fun anymore, we would just kind of stop making stuff for it. But we just wanted to test the waters and see if we liked posting about gym related content. And then if it became successful, I'm talking about it's almost a year. We're almost a year into it now. I think we're about 10 months. But eventually we wanted to sell merchandise, sell t-shirts, sell workout programs. And with all that, over the last 10 months of our program, we've advertised it. We learned the market a bit better, which also helped me and my SB Productions learning the algorithms to how Instagram works and figuring out how to create reels, shorts, along that lines, and also how to target the audience a little bit better than your traditional, Instagram page, your personal profile page. And with that being said, I think we learned a lot from managing a social media account from a business point of view, and how to market ourselves so that we can attract a lot of people towards our page. And for that reasoning, we eventually want to get into more selling workout plans, whether it's lifting, running, swimming, biking, along the lines of all that. And eventually, maybe even down the road, we've even explored ideas about having our own Hermes team, an outside affiliated team that people pay for to be on, that can represent our brand a little bit more, whether it's in a race or whether they get to a gym or do competitions like powerlifting and such. Right now, currently, Timon, he's in charge of more of the lifting aspects to it all, while Jackson and I are more of the running-based athletes. And then we also included a new athlete that we met in Arizona over the summer, and he's based in Massachusetts. So he also keeps us in the loop with content, trying to create stuff for the page, so it leaves a little less stress on us. Splitting it up between more than just 3 people. We want to expand with more people over time and make it more of a large team so that it can be successful in its own way.
Definitely. I think that's major, just being able to have people you can count on and split the work up between, because I know content creation is hard itself, and it's hard to be consistent and be organized and things like that. So when you start adding in more things like exercise and merchandise and things like that, I know you definitely need a team. So I think that's going to be awesome. I think something you guys could experiment with in the future also is like maybe your own supplements, like whatever it takes to do that. I know it's probably not it's not probably easy to do, but it's possible. So I think that would probably be something cool to look into maybe in the future if you guys want to.
We've had one t-shirt drop where we had 50 solid black t-shirts with our logo on it, and it was very successful because it was our first drop. We had to test a couple different prototypes, and going along with that, it's all a learning process. We're not trying to be super successful with it yet, but we're trying to learn how it all works to run a business while we're in college, so that it can entertain us, keep us busy, and maybe after college we could use that as our career. It's not bad to get a head start with working on that type of material, and I believe it's also helped me organize my SP Productions pages a bit more from that experience, because we created Hermes before I created my SP Productions official page and got the licensing for all that, and I think it helped me set that up a bit better. And obviously I'm learning how to run multiple pages at once over time, but Hermes has been a great stepping stone in trying to get into the game of health and fitness and lifestyle.
For sure. What's been the biggest obstacle that you've had to face up until this point in your life, and how did you get through it?
Oh boy. Multitasking between multiple activities at the same time, and I'll get more specific with that. This past spring, it's probably the most stressed I've ever been because of school, because of athletics, because of media pages I just mentioned about, managing them, learning how to operate them, and then just simply having enough money to live on. I'm self-sufficient with my funds. I work for every dollar I have and spend every dollar I have as my money. So being able to multitask all those different areas and try to be professional with it. I've even at times I'll go home or go to places like Morgantown, and not to party, but literally just like DoorDash or Uber, just try to make ends meet for myself, while at the same time I can fund my own digital media businesses and also upgrade my equipment, and also just live, pay for my gas, pay for my car, pay for my insurance, stuff like that, pay for my school. And then on top of all of that, I probably had the roughest semester of college I've had in college, mostly because of a professor that really wanted to make my life a living hell. And it was a chemistry class, and I'm very happy it's over now, coming back here and not having to take that class or see him in general, the professor. It's been a big weight off my shoulders, and now my classes are so easy going to my last year I was able to set that up so smoothly, and I can focus a lot more of my time into the stuff that I love and like to do.
Definitely. Season 7, the DJ Henderson podcast, man, it's been a blessing. It's been an incredible journey getting to this point. Coming from season 1, making it to season 7, it's been amazing. I appreciate anybody that's been supporting the show, or if this is your first time tuning into the show, I just appreciate you being here, supporting the show, and being able to see this. The best way to support the show is simply subscribing on YouTube, sharing this with your friends and family, leaving a like. And if you're listening to this on a streaming service, make sure you leave a 5-star rating and a review. Again, I want to say thank you. I appreciate all the support. And now we're going to get back to the show. What's 1 or 2 quotes that you just keep with you, that you live by, that you take with you? Quotes, mottos, mantras, things that you say to yourself to keep you going?
I think something that keeps me going is that last summer, 2 summers ago actually, I wanted to push myself to the extreme limit. And, I was pretty stupid when I did this, but it's kind of a funny story now looking back on it. I dipped into the Grand Canyon, and I ran to the very bottom where the Colorado River is. Just my shoes, some shorts, a t-shirt, a hat, a water bottle, that's it. And it's about 6 miles to the bottom, but there's a huge elevation gain drop. And I got to the bottom, refilled my water, it was all good. Dipped in the water, it was so nice. Turned around and got back up. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, I hope this really doesn't suck. I hope I don't die on this. And once I started going back up, once I started traveling and running back up that, the canyon, I realized I couldn't run the canyon. I needed just to walk it, to hike it. And once I started doing that, I got a couple miles in. So at this point, I had about 3 or 4 more miles to go. Ran out of water at that point. It was starting to get really hot. Did in the middle of the day, middle of summer. Not my smartest move, but it's a lesson I can take, and I can, it's funny to look back on now. It got to the point to where I started seeing specks, started seeing stars almost, like, oh no, I'm about to pass out. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is, before doing this, I thought to myself, if I can do this, I can do anything. If I can run to the bottom and back up with what little I had, then I can do anything. I felt unstoppable. College students, you all feel a little unbreakable at times. But at that point, I didn't feel like I was going to make it out of the canyon, and I started climbing back out. And I was on my knees at this point, and I was like, oh no, I'm not going to make it. So I just started yelling, help. It's like, help, is anybody out there? And then it wasn't very much longer, I heard a college team, or a college group, up in the shade. A bunch of college guys from Texas A&M. They were like, yeah, we're up here. Literally a quarter mile up the trail. They saved my life. They had water, they had these hydration tablets, and they got me back on my feet. And I realized that I'm not unstoppable, but what I can do, I can see where my limit is, and that I can carry that story and that feeling for anything I do in life now. I know what my limits are, and I know when and how to push my limits. It's kind of kind of hard to explain, kind of harder to put in words than the way it is. But the feeling I have from that, and when I was driving back to my to our Airbnb from that crazy trip, just thinking to myself, man, I'll just kill to have a Coke. Just kill to have just a soda. And I'll stop at a gas station and just devour myself in sweets and soda. And I think what I can take away from that is that I'm very appreciative with everything, being here in college, being where I'm at currently, and what I've done in the past, my entire lifetime at this point, especially here recently. So I can take that with me, and it's not really a quote or something that I can take with me, but it's just a feeling and experience that I can take along the road with everything I do now.
Definitely. What's your why? What keeps you motivated to just keep striving to do big things?
I guess the peers around me, they really motivate me. Days I feel like trash, days I don't really feel very motivated. I got guys up my ass trying to get me out the door, trying to continue making me the best person I possibly can. And I think the people I meet along the way, it's almost like the atmosphere I want to bring back. You know, everyone's there for each other, and I think because of that, it brings everybody together a bit more, and also motivates the entire group to reach new heights that they haven't seen before. And I think along with that, my mentality when it comes to, you know, life, it's like a do or die. You know, if I'm not doing this, what am I doing? Why am I here? So if I'm not taking advantage of the opportunity I'm given here, whether it's school, athletics, or, you know, working with these professionals I got to meet over the summer, if I'm not proving that I can, you know, be the best at what I can possibly do, then why am I doing it? So
Definitely. I always tell myself, like, anything I do, like, you do one thing how you do everything, and like, if you're gonna do something, you should just do it all the way instead of not doing it to the fullest of your potential. So I think that's kind of similar to how you feel and what you're saying, for sure. Last question I always ask on the show: who's somebody that I should have on the show next? Who can you plug me in with? Whoever you say you got to plug me in. Who do you think I should have on next?
I think you should check out my boy Jackson Gibson. You know, he's on campus. He lives in Moyer, same place that old DJ lives in. I think he'd be a really good candidate when it comes to this, you know, talking on a camera. I'm surprised I actually did so well with this, because I'm usually the one behind the camera. I hate being in front of the camera, but I think this went up really well. Jackson's amazing in front of the camera, and he's my teammate. He's one of my Hermes boys. He'd be a good person, you know, to talk to. I'm sure he can talk your ear off all day about stuff.
For sure. Jackson, if you see this, we got to chop it up. Come sit down on the show. Might have to make that happen sooner than later, for sure. Scott, this is about it for the show. I really appreciate you coming on. It means a lot to me. Definitely was refreshing talking to you. It's different being in Moyer. You don't get to see you every day how I used to when I used to come home and stuff, but it's still good that you're here, and definitely hope to continue to build our relationship down the road from now to whenever. I think this has been great. I'm excited for people to see this, get more insight on some of the things you're doing, not just being a regular student athlete, being a businessman, entrepreneur, venturing out and doing different things. So I think this is going to be great when it comes out.
Thank you, DJ.
Yes, sir.
Anytime. Hopefully I can come back to this one day.
Yes, sir. Scott, last, anything you have to say, any motivation, any words of encouragement that you have for anybody that's listening right now?
I'll just say, you know, plug in my profile, check my channels out. You know, it's more running based, but if you need any, you know, cool content related stuff coming out, you need a photographer for some event, you know, you hit me up. SP Productions. On Instagram, SP Productions 22. My personal Instagram is Barkerman22. You know, hit me up, let me know, see me on campus. I can make it just about anything. See what I made, see if you like it, and then I'm open for suggestions and new ideas as well.
Definitely, high quality content, SB Productions, Hermes Athletics. Stay on the lookout for that. Any new merch drops coming soon. Make sure you book with Scott. Real professional work. I'm probably gonna get some work done hopefully soon. Get some work done. But yes, sir, Scott Barker. Everything's gonna be down below. All the links, Instagram, TikTok, website, everything's gonna be down below. So make sure you guys tap in, scroll through those links, support the brands, SB Productions, Hermes Athletics, and anything else that comes out that's coming from Scott. Again, I want to say thank you anybody that's tuned in right now. If you're still watching at this point, I really appreciate it. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop a like, drop a comment. If you're tuned in through the audio experience, if you're just listening, can't see us right now, leave a 5-star rating and a review, and we'll see you on episode 4.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Sick, bro. Awesome.
Yeah.
First podcast.
I went litty.
That's pretty cool.